Hi, and it's Sue here. So, welcome to Inspired Messages. And for those people that follow me, you will know that I've been away for a couple of months. And also, that I mentioned having Uranus on my sun, which is in the ninth house of travel, and I might have some travel delays, and that travel would be likely to be hectic and not relaxing. Well, honestly, that's exactly what happened. So the first thing that happened was that our flights to Heathrow were delayed by 90 minutes. So we arrived in the UK at 9 p.m. instead of 7:30 p.m. And when you've been travelling for almost 24 hours, that's the last thing you need. We actually had a very uncomfortable journey, as John was not well on the plane, and I wasn't much better. So we had a delay on the motorway as well, as we had to follow a diversion off the motorway, because we were doing night work. So then we were led onto a country road where was a traffic jam. So we actually got to our hotel at midnight, and we also had a trip to France booked for 4 days later that week, which we had to cancel due to John being very poorly with the UTI. So we lost the money for the ticket to France, and then the following weekend we booked a hire car for Saturday. And although we had email confirmation, the hire car company closed before we picked the car up. So we had to alter our travel plans yet again, and we finally got a car on Monday at 1 p.m. due to more complications. And we were actually going to be travelling down to Somerset, down to Taunton. So we had to call in Cirencester on the way. So it was a pretty weird journey, and the latter part on the M4, M5 was just driving rain, and we arrived at 7:30 p.m. So that was no, not good. And then we then planned a trip to Iceland to see family, and the airline lost our luggage for 24 hours. So we had to buy underwear, nightwear, toiletries, and I didn't have my eye drops, which I need for glaucoma. So although we got our luggage back, it was about 24 hours, we got it back. Actually over 24 hours. We got it back the next day, but not till lunchtime. So it did spoil the trip a bit, because I was very anxious about my eye drops, really. And there were more incidents along the way. So I can testify that Uranus on your sun, um, you do feel it. I mean, it does depend where your sun is in your birth chart, which house it's in, because every house has a different meaning. So obviously mine's in the ninth, which is travel. So when Uranus is going through that house, then there's lots of kind of, um, upheaval. And it's actually going to go retrograde, so it's not gone away, and it's going to move back towards my sun again. And I think this transit will probably be next May, so it's not going to, not going to leave quite yet. So, because these outer planets move so slowly, you get several hits because Uranus has gone over my sun. And then it went retrograde. Now it's going back again. So quite a while. Anyway, on to the astrology for August. So lots of astrologers saying August is an important month, which will be full of surprises, as if we haven't had enough. What with Trump's attempted assassination and Biden stepping down in the US and the UK have a new government, and violence in Southport, which has been dreadful. So, all kind of sudden, because the election was sudden. Everything that I've mentioned was sudden, which is very Uranian. You don't see it coming. And it is going to continue as more events occur that, upset and shock us. So, it's it's a nuisance really, but we are in that time of change and flux, and so we have to ride with it, don't we? So the second, which is today, August, the 2nd of August, Venus is square Uranus. Now we've got Uranus in the mix again, and it's a square, so it's always a challenge. And Venus rules relationships and beauty, but it also rules money. And as I said, a square is a challenge. So we may well have problems with finance. So look out for this in personally, but also in the news. Gold and silver may fluctuate. More banks may have problems around the world. Relationships may require more freedom. Um, you know, um, or relationships could be considered somewhat unusual because that's what Uranus is. It wants freedom, and so when it comes to relationships, it could be like one person lives on their own or something, or both people live in separate houses. That's kind of very unusual. It's not a typical relationship, is it, where most people live together. So look out for this in your own life and also on the world stage when it comes to relationships. I mean, we see plenty of them out there. On the 4th, which is in 2 days' time, I'm sure you've heard about it. We're going to have a new moon in Leo. And Leo rules the sun and is connected to creativity and shining your light and having courage. So it rules the heart energy and love. And so I think now it's so important to send love out to everybody, everyone you meet, everyone you know, everyone you're in contact with, and in the meditation, send love out to the world because it really does make a big difference. So for people born under the sign of Leo, their motto is life is for living. They want to enjoy their life. So we are in Leo, territory at the moment. So I mean, although we've got all these things going on, it doesn't stop you from going and enjoying yourself. So this is a time of hopefully good weather, where you can meet with friends, and so try and do that as much as you can. But anyway, a new moon is a time to set new goals for the next 28 days. So think about what area of life do you want, these goals, these new goals to connect to? Could it be your career or relationships or health or home? And children. Children are connected to the sign of Leo, love affairs as well, and flirting and things like that, taking a risk, creativity and art, performing arts as well. So, you might want to try and involve yourself with anything like that. Any hobbies as well, hobbies that you've done that you've put down that you want to might maybe take up again, or a new hobby. So look at that. And we still have the Uranus square Venus in this new moon chart. So Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Uranus is in Taurus. So these two are connected, Venus and Uranus, because they sorry, responding energy. So if obviously Taurus is ruled by Venus and Uranus is in Taurus, so these two have that strong connection now. And Mercury is in Virgo, in a sign that it rules, so it's really happy here. But before Mercury goes retrograde, which actually is tomorrow, it stations, meaning it stands still before it goes backwards. So at these times, the energy is very strong. So, if you want to communicate anything, today would be a good day. So obviously tomorrow it will go backwards, or it will go retrograde. So Chiron also is in this. This is all the new moon chart on the 4th. So Chiron, the planet of healing, is also trine Venus in this new moon chart, and trines actually give a boost of energy to what is needed. So this can help to reveal what stops us from having a happy and meaningful relationship. Because we're talking about Venus, and then we can heal the situation and move on, because Chiron is the planet of healing. Also, and I've talked about this in previous new and full moon charts, the black moon Lilith is trine Pluto. So this isn't a hard aspect. This is, like a trine again. So it's going to give a boost of energy to what's needed. Pluto is about transformation. The black moon represents the dark and primal feminine energy that's actually been suppressed in society. And I'm sure you know about that, because it's, in lots of people are talking about it. So black moon Lilith is often associated with rebellious behaviour and being the activist. In fact, I've talked about it before. It was very strong in what's the name that she was chained to the railings for the women's vote. It's gone completely out of my head. But anyway, it'll probably come back to me. But you see where I'm coming from. But having these two together in a transit, there may be repressed anger and rebellion, and we can see that. It can be a tense time, and somewhat of a challenge, but Pluto is, as I say, about transformation and rebirth. So let's see it as profound and helping us move into the new world we are creating. Emmeline Pankhurst was the lady that chained herself to the railings, and it was strong. Black Moon Lilith was strong in her chart. So this is a trine. So my feelings is that it will help with highlighting that women and the feminine are not going anywhere, in spite of the wokery that's going on around the world, as the agenda seems to suggest that women are no longer valued or needed, which is kind of, frustrating for women. And we just look at the opening ceremony of the Olympics, which I've not looked at. I've just seen still shots. I didn't really want to watch it, because I did watch the opening of the 2012 Olympics, which was mad enough. And that was kind of telling us we were going to have a health problem in 2020. I don't want to say too much, but I think you get what I'm saying. The opening ceremony now in Paris was dreadful as well. And it looks like there's men and women winning women's swimming again. And it's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to put a link to a video that explains all about the divine feminine and why and how it's been taken away. And I'm going to put a link to a video that explains this beautifully. So please watch it, as I thought the information was amazing and worth watching. I loved it. It was so good, and so much information. I'd like to watch it again. So also in this new moon chart, we've got Ceres, which rules the grain and the harvest and is aspecting Mars. So, we can expect more on farming and the plight of the farmers, as they're being told that they can no longer grow certain crops and rear animals. And maybe we will hear of them fighting back, which would be brilliant, really brilliant. Leo is about courage, having the courage of our convictions, standing in our own truth, being sovereign and standing up for what we believe in. So we can only hope that that's kind of what happens with the farmers. And on the 4th, also Venus, which is the ruler of love and beauty and money, moves into healing Virgo too. So questions about your relationships are likely, and maybe criticism too, because that's what Virgo does. It does remind you to be gentle with yourself as well. And on the 5th, so that's the new moon chart. And so on the 5th, Mercury does go retrograde until the 28th of August. And so you can feel anxious or be hard on yourself and others. So you need to use this time for reflection. I mean, sometimes it seems to have more of an effect on daily life. I'm talking about communication. Sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's worse when it goes retrograde. So I always say it's really good to use the time to go inward and reflect. So it's now, it's the 5th to the 28th. So use that time wisely. On the 7th, we have the astrological point of Lamas. So it's time to give thanks for what we have, for the harvest and our wonderful farmers. And, I think it's important, if you can, to buy from your local farmer shop, if you can, because we need to support them. We need to show them that, we appreciate them. Also, the sun is sextile our Jupiter, which could bring a day of opportunities or some study, learning about life. Our beliefs can change. Travel, connecting to the world and foreigners is also a possibility. On the 8th, we have Lionsgate, which with adding up 2024. That's an 8, and it's the 8th of the 8th, 2024. So it adds up to 888. And an 8 on its side is the sign of infinity, which is featured a lot in lots of kind of spiritual pictures and things, and in the Tarot of Marseille. If you're interested, I'll have a video about Lionsgate for you in the description below if you want to know more about it. On the 14th, we have very important transit, and that's Jupiter conjuncting Mars in Gemini. So look out for things in the media. Mars can be arguments and aggression, and Jupiter rules the media and the mind and expands things. So watch out for exaggeration or making mountains out of molehills, and look out for this on the world stage as well as in your own life. The mind may be overstimulated as well, because these two in Gemini, that's what Gemini does. It can go over the top, and it might be, your mind goes into overdrive. So this energy will be around for about a week. So writing and being involved in the internet, making videos or watching them is all likely around this time, but just be careful of, obviously, the Mercury retrograde. Make the most of this energy and connect with your higher self. So I'm reading a really great book called Self-Healing by J.P. Spina, I think, or Spina, Spina. He was paralyzed and had other serious illnesses, and he healed himself. And in his book, he writes about our past and future thoughts controlling us and how to stop this inane chatter, as these thoughts have nothing to do with who we really are. So I've put a link to the book and a video in the comments where he shares his knowledge. He has actually got lots of videos on YouTube. He's interviewed by quite a few people, but he's really kind of special guy. You can tell that when he's speaking. Or I think he's meant to be doing this and helping people. But anyway, you take a look and see what you think yourself. Also, retrograde Mercury moves back into Leo, where it spends the rest of the retrograde time. And so patience may go out the window, applying yourself to the details may give you a problem. So try and use the energy for some fun things, because it's going to be moving back into Leo. On the 16th, Mars is square Saturn. So with Mars square Saturn, everything can seem like hard work. You can't kind of, I don't know, put your mind to it. And maybe with the Mercury retrograde as well, everything seems very frustrating for you. So take lots of breaks, I think is the answer to that one. And actually, that happened to me yesterday because the computer was really giving me a hard time, and I went out, and yeah, it breaks the energy. So take the breaks because in the long run, I think you'll get more done. Now, Mars represents energy, and Saturn can cause restrictions, and Saturn rules the skeleton, the skin, the teeth. So, watch out for any kind of health problems, particularly the back. Anything that that stops you from moving forward could be likely with Mars squaring Saturn. And I've actually got that in my birth chart, which is very unfortunate because yeah, I've had back problems since I was 18. My teeth haven't been very good either, and I think if I'd have known all this when I was younger, I probably would have taken more, I don't know, care of myself, I suppose. Although I have learnt an awful lot about how to take the pain away from my back, and I think actually my back's much better now than it ever was. So that's really positive. Anyway, on the 18th, Mercury is going to be square Uranus, which may make it difficult to concentrate, and whatever it is said, could possibly sound off the wall or crazy. So I think if this does happen to you on the 18th, you need to leave important conversations for another day. Don't go there. And we may also see the result of this on the world stage. Also on the 18th, and to offset and help Mercury square Uranus, the Sun is conjunct Mercury. So you may be able to do something, work on refining your plans so that you can continue to move forward when Mercury finally goes direct, which will be in 10 days time. So that's the 28th. And the 19th, we have the full moon in Aquarius at 27 degrees, and is actually conjunct the USA moon, and is square the ruler of Aquarius, Uranus. So this full moon is square Uranus, and as I say, the full moon is on the US's moon, so exactly at 27 degrees. So that could suggest anything is likely to happen. And Uranus connects to electricity and the internet and technology. So these areas of our lives could be disrupted, although Uranus is in Taurus. So, obviously Taurus is to do with the land as well. So it could be to do with banking or food or the land. Could be earthquakes and floods or wildfires. As I said, it could be anything. Venus is also square Jupiter. So are we to see disruptive relationships? I don't know. But you could have them in not only your own lives, but it could cross over to the world events connected to US politics, protests, anger, frustration, and more health issues, as Venus is in Virgo, the sign of health. So Venus is also squaring Mars too, as Mars is conjunct Jupiter. So, and Venus is also opposite Saturn, creating even more tension. So this particular configuration is very tense. And, I think it's important to, I don't know, stay calm, try and have high vibes, bring as much love into the situation if that's if that's what's happening. And on the 22nd, the sun is going to move into Virgo on the 22nd. So it's going to leave Leo, and then it's going to go into Virgo. So, Virgo, it wants to do everything properly. It's very pernickety, it writes lists. It's into health. It's into healing. It's into helping others. So it's a time to work really and focus and tend to the details. So you may decide to start a new health regime. You might decide you need to help somebody. And as Virgo is an earth sign, it's time to be practical and maybe time to do some clutter clearing as well, and clear the files in the office. And also on that day, on the 22nd, Venus is in Virgo and it's squaring Mars in Gemini, which was in the full moon chart. So passionate energy, could be quite high, and you can channel this romantically or creatively. Otherwise, you might get grumpy. So it is a square. And so, squares can be a challenge. On the 24th, Mercury is in Leo, and that's going to be sextiling Mars in Gemini. So, again, your mind can be active and you may have grand ideas. And lots of stuff going on, and you can focus on maybe taking action with an idea, and you may approach things from a different perspective as well. And on the 27th, that's 3 days later, Venus is in Virgo and is going to trine Uranus, that Uranus in Taurus. So this is a trine. So this is a time, trine, so you may feel you want to connect to somebody if you've not got a relationship. And a relationship could come out of the blue. And relationship could be more social and engaging. New and unusual people may attract you because it's Uranus, and freedom to be yourself will be important. That people accept you for who you are. On the 28th, Mercury goes direct in Leo, and so the retrograde comes to an end, and this means you can, start to get back on track over the next few weeks, and it can be easier for you to balance your work and your play, work and home life, work and social life, and you can get things done whilst also connecting with your heart. And so that's really nice. And Venus in Virgo will be opposite Neptune in Pisces on the same day. So compassion and empathy can help you connect with others, and you can be there in any way you can. Just make sure you have healthy boundaries. And we end the month on the 28th, really, because there's no more aspects after that. But Venus enters Libra, so it's going to leave Virgo, and Venus enters Libra, which is in its sign ruler. So it's at home here and works well, and it's good for starting relationships or committing to them, and it's great for all social occasions and spending time with those you care about. And if you're thinking about doing anything to do with money, whilst Venus is in Libra, Libra's about balance and harmony. So it might be that you could do something about money as well. And Venus is going to be trying Pluto as well on that day, on the 28th. And the Pluto is in Aquarius. So this is also Venus, obviously in Libra, trying Pluto in Aquarius. So again, this is great for relationships. And Pluto is always about intensity and passion. So it could be very passionate, or passion will come easily. And any kind of intimacy is kind of enhanced in some way. So the month of August is going to be a fiery one for sure. So I really think the affirmation should reflect this. So that's what I've done. So if you say this every day as though it's happened, because we need to put it out there, and you do have to have the desire and the belief and the intention that this can actually happen. It's really, really important that you do that. So, hand on heart, I send out love to the world and I live in love, peace, and harmony. I send out love to the world and I live in love, peace, and harmony. So, have a great month, have a great August, enjoy wherever you are. And you know where I am, and my posts are on Facebook, which is Astrologer Sue Fletcher. And, you can contact me through my website, which is astrologersue.com. And remember my courses. If you fancy learning astrology, then the link to that is on my courses page. And I also have a course on Lilith, which will tell you more about Lilith and the divine feminine. So if you're interested, go and take a look at that on my website. And I will see you hopefully at the beginning of September. And hopefully it won't be too challenging for us. Hopefully we're going to be fine. So it's all part of what should be happening anyway. We're meant to be moving through a time of change, and change does not happen fast. It never does. No, it's a gradual thing, and I've been talking about this for absolutely ages. And so, I think it's frustrating if we all want to move forward, and we all want, we're all stuck maybe in some certain areas of our life. We want to better our health, sell our house, do different things, and sometimes it doesn't work. And mainly, I think maybe it's not the right time. So I think we have to be, just kind of positive and not push too much. When it's the time's right, the doors open, don't they? And it certainly did for me and John, because we decided to move here, and it all went according to plan. And I think that was, we knew, and it was right. And so it's that, isn't it? I think you've just got to, if it's not working, then back off for a bit, and realise that we're probably all where we should be. We're all in the right place. We're all where we decided we were going to be before we incarnated. So with that, I'm going to say have a great August, and I will see you at the beginning of September. So bye for now. Bye bye.